Hey everybody, we'll start in just a second. Okay, let's see here. Alright, the pinned comment's up. How's everybody doing? Welcome everybody. Alright. Can you guys see me? Let me see. I think I might be a little too dark. Hold on just a second. I'll make it a little lighter. That might be a little bit better. Oh, yeah, that's a little bit better. Alright, good. now you guys can see me. Alright, good. How's everybody doing? Alright, so it is Serene Sunday. Would you believe it? I don't think I did Serene Sunday last week. I think I did it the week before. Because I think we did Ritual last week. So welcome everybody to the Druid Circle. Those of you that are new, I am Druid Declan, founder of the Druid Circle, founder of the Druid Order of Blessed Stone and Wood, and founder of Druid University. And get ready for a great show tonight. Get ready for an awesome show tonight, okay? Before we begin, why don't we just start with a quiet time to really think about maybe some things that have gone for the week and past the week, and today's going to be a great show. Just take some time to think and breathe in and out, and deeper to become all one on the same level and on the same frequency. So today is Serene Sunday, and I'm going to go over everything we're going to be doing. Okay, so this paper is in reverse to me. Actually, is the right way to me. So I'm going to be able to read it. Just give me a second, and I'm going to pull this out so you guys can see what we're going to be talking about. Okay. All right, there we go. All right. In this video, you will learn how to maximize the cosmos you generate by harmonizing chaos, okay, and cosmos. All right. First, you will learn how to gain traction using 5 rules, okay? Then you will understand how to think druidically about each rule to be able to incorporate the rule. Third, we'll restructure the rules of traction in order to understand the chaos we are experiencing. Fourth, we apply these rules to the chaos we are experiencing to move closer to the Most Holy Ancient Druids. And finally, last, okay, we will theorize mantras and magic to strengthen what you have learned. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing tonight. I hope you like it. Enjoy. Alright, let's begin. I want to start with one of my favorite authors, Thomas Sheridan, and who I consider a mentor. So here we go, okay? I want to start on a sentence that he wrote on page 114 of the Druid Code. 114 of the Druid Code. Oh, sorry about that. There it is. It's like, wait. All right. Here we go. It says this. It says, perhaps, the entire trajectory of the European magical tradition, okay, from the Druids to the chaos magic of the 1980s has been a continuous subconscious desire to return to Atlantis. Interesting. So I guess we could start by talking about tonight, and that is basically escaping the matrix and leaving the matrix. And I've been getting a lot of requests that people's worlds have been tossing and turning, and seeking peace just isn't enough. I mean, they need more. They want the endless chaos to stop. They want the endless domestic terrorism to stop. And with domestic terrorism, we're talking about BLM and Antifa riots, looting, and lighting things on fire, and just it really is an awful thing, and an awful time that we're in, and we've been placed in, and a lot of this chaos that's in the world is generated, and it's man-made. It is. Now, I'm not going to talk. So a lot of people say, well, what about the fires in California during the class? Well, even that, to an extent. I mean, we found evidence of people walking around lighting up fires and starting fires, because these are people of the fire. They're of the flame, and not of the flame that's in a sense good, maybe in a sense necessary, but not good in any sense. And so today we're going to learn how to how to calm outer chaos, how to calm those if you will, those experiences we have that truly are difficult to say. We just we can't wave our hand. Well, I guess maybe we could if we put our mind to it, and I do believe mind over matter, to just stick our hand up and stop it. But until you get to that level, because that is the level we would love to get to, it isn't necessarily the reality that we can actually do that and just stop things, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the things we just talked about in order, and I'm going to take you deeper and deeper into understanding how to reconcile this chaos with Cosmos. So I hope you like this, okay? All right, let's start. The first step is to gain traction with 5 simple rules. Okay? To gain traction with 5 simple rules. Number 1, the rule of inward cosmos. The rule of inward cosmos. And if you want to write these down, you're more than welcome to. The rule of inward cosmos. Number 2, the rule of outward occurrence. The rule of outward occurrence. Number 3, the rule of inward experience. The rule of inward experience. Number 4, the rule of outward nurture. The rule of outward nurture. And number 5, the rule of Druidic questioning. Okay? The rule of Druidic questioning. So that we have the rule of inward cosmos, the rule of outward occurrence, the rule of inward experience, the rule of outward nurture, and the rule of Druidic questioning. And we're going to go over step by step each one of those. Number 1, the rule of inward cosmos. I want you to think right now about cosmos and chaos. And when we think of cosmos and chaos, we think of basically 2 extremes, 2 polarities, right? 2 polarities. But when we visualize them, most of us, not all of us, but when we visualize them, it is very common for the beginning Druid to, or the postulant to think of chaos and cosmos, and when they think of it and visualize it, they see sides. They see a left and they see a right. What I want to do is try to reverse that. And I want to try to basically say to you that instead of thinking it as opposite sides, as in left and right sides, as in cosmos is here and chaos is here, as in there's sort of like a linear arrow between both, going both ways, right? And that we're in between that. Let's listen to the rule of inward cosmos that says this: cosmos is inside of you. Chaos is outside you. Cosmos is inside you. Chaos is outside you. And understanding that and thinking about that, now what we've done is we've taken that linear perception and we twisted it and turned it so that the cosmos that is here now becomes the innermost part of us. And the chaos that was here is no longer part of us, but outside of us. You see? Now, a lot of you would say, of course, well, shouldn't we be both balanced with cosmos and chaos? And shouldn't the outside world be balanced with cosmos and chaos equally? Absolutely. But for this specific purpose and today's lesson, I want you to think about cosmos being the most inner part of you, the deepest part of you, the roots of you, and chaos being out there, okay? Out anywhere, but not in here. All right, now that we have gotten that, I think we understand now a little bit about the rule of inward cosmos that says cosmos is inside of me or inside me and chaos is outside me, and we covered exactly why. All right. Now we're going to move on, okay? Now we're going to move on to the rule of outward occurrence. The rule of outward occurrence. It is important to recognize and think about occurrences and not endless situations. I hear so many people ask, why? And so the problem with that is there's when I was the lead mental health counselor at a partial, I would hear a lot of my clients, now they call them consumers, say, counselor, what, I get all up in my head, and it's basically a subconscious call of saying that we see the world as endless situations, as situations that are permanent, as situations that will never let up. Hence the reason why asking endless questions of, say, why? And I get it. It is not easy to jump out of what we are experiencing and seeing as an endless situation. Nothing is endless, okay? Everything has to come to an end. And everything in this world also has a beginning. It has a beginning and an ending. And when we think about a beginning and an ending, we no longer now see these things that we experience as endless situations, yet we see them as temporal occurrences, a simple occurrence. That's it, an occurrence. Once you think like that, now we're able to understand the rule of outward occurrence. And the rule of outward occurrence says this: you cannot react to endless situations. You can, in fact, react to temporal occurrences. You cannot react to endless situations. You can, in fact, react to temporal occurrences. What do I mean by that? I mean this. that endless situations you can't react to. You can only react once. That's it. You can react once. And that reaction that you do and have can spiral into other actions, but not reactions. You react, which then domino affects further actions, not further reactions. Okay? And so when we think about that, now we are gaining a sense of empowerment of our Druidic self. We can, in fact, react to a temporal occurrence. When we see a riot, we can react to that. When we see looting, we can react to that. No matter how many days it goes on, it is not an endless situation. Regardless of what we think, it will stop. Okay? It will stop. And these reactions, okay? These reactions, knowing that we can react to a temporal, meaning a beginning and an ending, occurrence, knowing that, we then in fact can and will achieve some sort of completion within us. And that is the rule of outward occurrence. Number 3, the rule of inward experience. I want you to think about taking responsibility of your own personal experience. I want you to think about taking responsibility of your own personal experience. Experiences are things that we witness, right? A personal account, many of which create myth, right? Meaning create truths, meaning create personal accounts. That's what the word myth means. In a sense, it is truth. That's why when I say, when atheists come to me and say God is a myth, I say, excellent. You proved my point. And so, interestingly enough, these personal accounts, that's what we need to take responsibility for. And by taking responsibility for our own accounts, our own personal accounts, basically, what are we writing in the book of our life to record the experience that we have witnessed? You see? The rule of inward experience states this. I write, we will never experience an experience that another has experienced. Listen to that again. I write, we will never experience an experience that another hasn't experienced. Meaning that our experience, the exact experience, the identical experience, even perhaps the equal experience, may be similar to another's experience, especially if that experience is being witnessed by a number of people, that same experience. But if that experience is not witnessed by a group of people at one time, then those people that may experience that experience will never experience that experience the way you have experienced it. And so That is the law or the rule of inward experience, meaning that our experience is something here as we then receive information about the occurrence, right? And then what we do with that experience is we process it. It is in the processing of that experience that we are taking accountability for it. And certainly, experiencing a wildfire or a riot or anything like that that's out of your control, it's absolute chaos, right? And anyone that takes part in absolute chaos, I would even go to the fact and say that it's a demonic, even sadistic sort of participation, if you will, right? We will never experience an experience that another hasn't experienced, and I think that is really essential in this rule. Okay. Number 4, the rule of outward nurture. The rule of outward nurture. If we think about the difference between nurture and nature, right? Nurture and nature. Nature, it is natural, right? It isn't done. It isn't. It isn't actions that we have to think about. It just happens. It is. When you say it is, that is the definition of nature. It is. Nurture says, or may say, it is not. Nurture comes from an outside force. Nature comes from within. And when we think of things, taught to you, right? That if not taught to you, your habituation would not occur otherwise. Meaning that nurture is something that can be beneficial to us or detrimental to us. At the same time, there are, no matter what it is, it could be a way of indoctrination, making you believe that this chaos, okay, is normal. Think about how many times the rioters have said rioting is just, it is good, it's normal, it's natural. Lighting this, burning down the cities, it's good, it's natural, right? Intimidating people, it's good, it's natural. These are things that, are not natural. These are nurtured, programming you to think that chaos is cosmos and cosmos is chaos. Hence the reason why we live in a clown world today, where up is down, left is right, in is out, and it's just like, everything that basically all looks like the number 5. Why the number 5? Because the number 5 is a very unusual shape, right? It's a shape of a square attached to a circle. And so in thinking about that, where you have two complete opposite shapes as one, it isn't really something that makes sense to us, right? Is the number 5 a natural number? Is there a count of it? Yes. But the symbol itself is very unusual and looks nothing like its original, right? So the rule of outward nurture says this: Indoctrination creates habits of misperceptions. Habits of misperceptions. And I don't mean misperceptions in a hallucinatory way. I just mean misperceptions, meaning misperceive it, okay? I don't mean misperceptions as hallucinations. Number 2, indoctrination creates mistaken self-notions. Mistaken self-notions. Number 3, and with this same law, or same rule, indoctrination creates conditioning patterned doubt. Conditioning patterned doubt. So let me read you that rule one more time. The rule of outward nature, I write, says this. Indoctrination creates habits of misperceptions, mistaken self-notions, and conditions or conditioning patterns of doubt. Conditions of pattern doubt. I want to bring up a very simple thing, and that is something that's very common today, and the idea of whiteness, being white, right? Being white, whatever that means. I don't know, but whatever it means. And so chaos would have you believe that nature is nurture and cosmos is chaos. It wasn't your choice to be white. And I say your because technically I don't see myself as white, but that's another thing. But you weren't born white. I mean, you were born white, and while you were born white, that wasn't in your control. That wasn't something that you were nurtured to be. You were just born with that pigmentation. It's science. Whereas today, people will have you have misperceptions and have you create habits of misperceptions about being white. They will have you mistakenly I guess, with your self-notions, they will mistake in that self-notion that being white is bad, right? Being white is a bad thing, right? How many times do I hear people say, those white people, they're bad. White people are bad. I hear it a lot. And conditioning patterns of doubt, making you think twice about your whiteness by inventing words like white privilege, inventing ideas that create doubt about who you are, right? In effect, the rule of outward nurture is gaslighting, right? And if we're trying to make sense out of chaos, and we're being gaslit, in a sense, it's not actually, but it is part of, then I think that we need to take a step back and evaluate, no, you cannot challenge nature. And we need to push back on that, okay? We need to push back on that idea. Number 5, the rule of Druidic questioning. Now, I'm not going to go over the four Druidic questions because I did that in another episode, and I'm not going to do that today. But I am going to go over it briefly here. Slancha. Okay. First of all, think of how you come to know things. Think of how you come to know things. How do you come to know what is? How do you come to know what has been? And how do you come to know what will be? How do you come to know things? Okay? The rule of Druidic questioning says this: there are things I know. There are things I know. There are things I don't know. There are things I don't know. There are things I know that I know. There are things I know that I know. And there are things I know that I do not know. There are things that I know that I do not know. That is the rule of Druidic questioning. They aren't the 4 Druidic questions. It is the rule of Druidic questioning. There are things I know. There are things I do not know. Right? There are things I know that I know. And there are things I know that I do not know. Once you're able to think about that, now we've taken you deeper and deeper, and we are deep right now. I brought you to a level right now where we're really in it, okay? All right. Now, using the 5 rules of gaining traction, because using those 5 rules of gaining traction, okay, what are those 5 rules of gaining traction? Okay, again, the inward cosmos, the outward occurrence, the inward experience, the outward nurture, and then the Druidic questioning. Those 5 rules of gaining traction, we're trying to gain traction in a disordered world. So it's basically like using those 5 rules to help you with cosmos maintaining some sort of traction within the chaos you're experiencing. Okay? To understand the chaos you are experiencing, we need to apply these 5 rules of traction. Now, you will understand, you will understand chaos once you gain traction of it. How? Okay, once, if we think of it like this, if we think of it as a treadmill being chaos, and us on the treadmill being cosmos, okay? So we're cosmos, the treadmill is chaos, and we're on it, all right? We're on it. If the speed of that treadmill, chaos, does not match the speed that you are maintaining, you will fall off, you could be kicked back, you could get injured, your rhythm, right? Your rhythm could be messed up, and all of a sudden you might have to come to an absolute halt where your heartbeat is going and going and going, and all of a sudden stops. So there's lots of detriment that could happen when the chaos under us, or outside of us, if you will, is not matched with the cosmos within us. Okay? Do you see that? So we need then to ensure that the treadmill, the speed of the treadmill, is working at the speed that we are at, so that we are now in traction as cosmos and chaos now intertwine. I wrote down an equation so you could write this equation down, because it's important. I wrote that when the speed of chaos equals, okay, your, if you will, Druidic self, okay, your Druidic self. And what is the Druidic self? The Druidic self is the body plus the Druidic tetrachonomy. And what is the Druidic tetrachonomy? The Druidic tetrachonomy is heart, soul, mind, and spirit. So that if the speed of chaos, when the speed of chaos, okay, equals the speed of your Druidic self, that together, right, equals cosmos. The speed of chaos, when the speed of chaos equals the speed of your Druidic self, some people would call it the higher self. I don't like to use that. The Druidic self. Because I don't see things higher or lower, right? I see them beyond or closer. So that when the speed of chaos equals the speed of the Druidic self, that together equals cosmos. How do you reach that equation? Well, we're going to learn. How do you match the speed of chaos with your Druidic self? Because that really is the problem, right? We want to reach chaos. The good and the bad. I don't like to use those words, but the plus side of it, if you will, is that we're aiming toward it. We know the goal. We have it in mind. The negative side of it is that the, if you will, the traction, right, will never be exact. You will never reach absolute cosmos. And that's just a matter of fact. You don't want to reach cosmos. All of that disorder outside, it is absolute chaos. I mean, there is some order within it because it's being designed. It's all being designed by Antifa and Black Lives Matter and other groups like ADAPT, ADAPT. But, you know, there's other groups. There's a billion of other groups, and it's only because I was on the left as an extreme communist at one point in my life and as an extreme, you know, Marxist at one point, you know. But, you know, socialist, if you will, too. So, but there is some order in it, but it is fairly close to chaos, right? Anything that terrorizes us is chaos. Anything that terrorizes us is chaos. Is it needed? Absolutely. Is it wanted? Absolutely not. But can we, in a sense, gain traction with that chaos? We can aim for it. That's the best we can do. All right? The way we do it is this. We remember those rules, right? Once we acknowledge the rules, then we're able to solve, okay? And come closer to cosmos. So here are your answers. I'm going to give them to you. Once we acknowledge the rule of inward cosmos, right? Inward cosmos, we're able to solve outward chaos. Once we acknowledge the rule of outward occurrence, right? We're able to solve inward reaction. Once we acknowledge the rule of inward experience, we're able to solve what? Outward environment. Once we acknowledge the rule of outward nurture, we're able to solve inward nature. And once we're able to acknowledge the rule of Druidic questioning, we can solve and come to our Druidic answers. As always, we end with two thoughts, and that is, number one, the theorize, and that is the Druidic Mantra, theorize, and we're going to look at that. That's the Druidic Mantra, and then we're going to do some magic, which is Dreot, okay? Dreot. So I want to start with the theorize. Alright, so let's start with the theorize. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, if you guys want, you could swipe your own screens to move the comments out of the way, and then you could see the whole picture. Oh, my fault, sorry. There we go. Okay, here we go. Ready? Alright, that's your theorize. And with that, what you're going to do with this is you're going to this is your Druidic Mantra. The Druidic Mantra is always two parts. It's the Deru and the Vid. The Deru and the Vid. The Deru Vid. The Druid. Okay? The Deru part of it involves heart and soul. The Vid involves, sorry about that, mind and spirit. Okay? The Deru. I strive to achieve, that's the heart. To reach and arrive, that's the soul. A grasp at understanding, that's the mind. The cosmos within and balance around me, that's the spirit. So it sounds like this. I strive to achieve, to reach and arrive, a grasp at understanding, the cosmos within and balance around me. I strive to achieve, to reach and arrive, a grasp at understanding, the cosmos within and balance around me. And that is your Druidic Mantra. Okay, guys? And the reason why we have it as such, the reason why we have what makes the Druidic Mantra different than than just a general mantra is that it has both the two parts that we need. Sometimes mantras today are like, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. The problem with that mindset and that mantra is that, yeah, you can become that, but there must be an action accompanied with the thought. There must be an action accompanied with the thought. And with the two parts of that mantra, the two parts of that theorize, is that the first part is about that movement, and the second part is about what we are going to achieve, right? And so when we think of it that way, now we've come to an alignment with our motivation tonight. Okay. Next, magic. Magic. So, magic is Dreot. Okay, magic is Dreot. And there's your magic right there. I want you to carry an acorn in your pocket. That's all you're going to do. Just going to carry an acorn in your pocket. And now, you're going to do this at all times. And from this point, you're going to keep one there. All right? So there's your Dreot. And you're going to keep an acorn in your pocket. But before you're going to put the acorn in your pocket, you're going to enchant it. And you're going to enchant it with these words. Okay? Ar duo a ar duo adro dek de. Deg de. Arduo, deg de. Arduo, deg de. And so that's what you're going to say to enchant the acorn as you put it in your pocket to achieve cosmos out of chaos. And then by doing so, escaping the matrix. I hope you liked tonight's talk. I know we got a lot of comments. Slancha, and I go over those comments afterwards. I hope you talked amongst yourselves. Those of you on a watch party, I hope you enjoyed. And I guess we'll go over everything we did tonight, okay? To see if we accomplished it. All right, here we go, guys. All right, ready? Serene Sunday, escaping the matrix. Okay. Let me just do this here. There we go. In this video, you will learn how to maximize the cosmos you generate by harmonizing chaos and cosmos. Did we do that? We did. First, we will learn how to gain traction using 5 rules. Did we do that? We absolutely did. Second, we will understand how to think druidically about each rule and be able to incorporate the rule. Did we do that? Absolutely, as I got you to think about things differently and then incorporate that rule into your own living space. Third, we will restructure the rules of traction in order to understand the chaos we are experiencing. We absolutely did that. Fourth, we will apply these rules to the chaos we are experiencing to move closer to the Most Holy Ancient Druids. And we did that by showing you how to solve those. And fifth, we will theorize mantras and magic to strengthen what you learned. And we did all of that. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much for being with me and learning something. Maybe you learned one thing tonight. Maybe you learned many things. Maybe you didn't learn anything at all, but maybe you thought about something differently. Serene Sunday, as always, has been about encouraging you to move forward in your week. Sometimes motivational speakers just don't cut it. We go to motivational speakers and during the session we feel great, but then after we forget. It is up to you now to take everything I taught you not as a motivational speech, but as information to act upon, to engage in, to work with. Not only to theorize, but to practice. It isn't simply the occult. It is magic. And by way of this magic, we achieve peace. And in this video, learn how to escape the matrix. Now for your blessing. Wherever you're at, whenever you're at, this goes beyond time and space. May the gods bless you. May the goddesses keep you. May the Fae shine their light upon you, and may your ancestors remain with you forever and ever. Girawen. And What a nice night. What a nice time it was to be with you and know that the most holy ancient Druids and many of the priests of old, it doesn't have to be simply the Druids. It could be the Gothar. It could be the Pietists. It could be the Magi. Any of the old priests. Think about a vocation. Think about if they're calling you. Think about priesthood or becoming a leader in your own religious communities, if you will. And I say religious, meaning whatever your belief system is. Because it truly is about becoming a leader without being a leader, if you will. Leading is sharing. And when you share knowledge, okay, in a way, cadre, but when you share knowledge, you are leading in a way, right? And that's what we want. With that, thank you all for watching. And as always, Girawan, Betshegobra, Aranit, East, Lemogui, Ta, She, Fear, Ta, She, Fear. Thanks for watching.